Tonight, Scott Morrison leads the coalition to victory in the federal election, shocking some and infuriating others. Meanwhile, Bill Shorten resigns from the Australian Labor Party. All the details in HMV local news. Tony Abbott and Fraser Anning out. Both face strong opposition in their respective electorates. Clive Palmer and the UAP don't get a single seat, but they are credited for getting the LNP across the line. And hashtag Quexit, why angry voters want Queensland removed from Australia. This is a special Tasmania edition of HMV Local News with Leonardo Puglisi and Sebastian Puglisi.
Good evening, we're broadcasting in the city of Launceston here in northern Tasmania in the Best Western Plus Hotel. We'd like to thank them for their service and cooperation in preparation for this bulletin. Now, this special combined bulletin will feature, of course, local Tasmanian news as well as normal news from the Hawthorn district and its surrounding areas. All that shortly, but first, Scott Morrison has won the federal election in a landslide victory. He defeated Labor and Bill Shorten on Saturday by a large amount of seats, despite polls, experts and even Liberal volunteers tipping a close election.
I'd be very surprised if we know who will be forming government by the end of today.
And after the loss, opposition leader Bill Shorten announced his resignation as ALP leader. He was devastated and said it was the right thing to do. Labor voters continued to support him at Labor HQ late into the night. In local politics, Josh Frydenberg has kept his seat of Kooyong despite a close contest from Greens candidate Julian Burnside and Independent Oliver Yates. The margin was significantly less than the 2016 election. However, Frydenberg does remain in the seat. Oliver Yates will be brought up later in the bulletin with an interesting story. Tony Abbott has lost his seat of Warringah to Zali Steggall in a swing of more than 13%. Meanwhile, controversial Senator Fraser Anning has lost his seat. In his speech, Abbott said he'd rather be a loser than a quitter.
I thank him for his service to the nation, and I thought his concession speech tonight was the epitome of grace.
And all the talk this election has been how Clive Palmer and the UAP went. Well, we can tell you that they didn't even get a seat. Despite that, they are being credited in part for getting the coalition over the line in marginal electorates, including many in Queensland. And continuing with that, some angry voters have proposed a merger between Australia and the state of Queensland using the hashtag Quexit. Similar to what Brexit has proposed, some people want Queensland removed from Australia, as it was voters in the Sunshine State that got Scott Morrison and the Liberals across the line. Coming up next, local Tasmanian news and the loss of a legend as Grumpy Cat dies aged 7.
Across the Hawthorn district and its surrounding areas, you're watching HMV, your local station.
Welcome back, everyone. In some breaking news now, Scott Morrison has unveiled his new ministry as the coalition prepares for a majority government. He has reshuffled his cabinet and stamped his renewed authority on the coalition. Some of these changes include Linda Reynolds will become Defence Minister, we're being told, replacing retired Christopher Pyne as previously flagged by the PM. Stuart Robert will be promoted to Cabinet and Minister for Government Services and also oversee the National Disability Insurance Scheme, or NDIS. There are more changes coming in. Bridget McKenzie will become the nation's first female agricultural minister, replacing David Littlecrowd, who will now focus on the natural disaster and emergency management portfolio. We hope to bring you more on this a bit later. Time for local Tassie news now, and a 1 in a million albino magpie has been found in Tasmania's north. The bird lives alongside a yellow-farrelled black cockatoo in the Trowana Wildlife Park. Albino and white animals are becoming more popular in Australia, including this population of white wallabies in Bruny Island, just off Tasmania's coast. Let's go live now to Launceston City Park, where Benedict Puglisi is standing by. Benedict, there are some monkeys with you.
Sure, Leonardo. I'm here with the monkeys in the city park at Launceston. It's a beautiful sunny day and a very popular attraction with families and people alike that want to come down and just see this wonderful Japanese troop of monkeys. Why here in Launceston? Well, I say why not? Monkeys are a great attraction. They've got so many, it's just so much fun to watch these family doing their little thing and in this beautiful setting in a wonderful park. They're actually rare Japanese monkeys. I believe there's only 3,000 or 4,000 of them in Japan, and here we're able to come down and see them on a Sunday morning enjoying themselves. Back to you in the studio.
Right, thank you very much, Benedict Puglisi at Launceston City Park there. And back home now, local politician Oliver Yates is making plans to take the Liberal Party to court over some controversial election signs. The Independent is angry that signs in the nearby seat of Chisholm has in Chinese translate to, quote, "The correct way to vote is to put a number 1 next to the Liberals and number every other box." The signs are actually in the same purple and white colours as the Australian Electoral Commission, making it seem like an official AEC message. This sparked controversy on election day. To her owners, she was called tartar sauce, but the world knew her simply as Grumpy Cat. The famous feline passed away on Tuesday, with tributes now all over social media. She became famous for her face, starred in her own film, and even had books written about her. The 7-year-old was one of the world's best-known cats. Coming up next, sport with Sebastian Puglisi.
Come down to the Canberra Market every Sunday for great buys and cheap products, antiques and collectibles every Sunday in Camberwell.
Time sport with Sebastian Puglisi. Sebastian, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Leo. In sport, Hawks have defeated Port Adelaide at UTES Stadium on Saturday. Hawthorn won 80-79 and led the whole match, with Jack Gunston kicking 6 goals. In surprising news, North Melbourne Brad Scott has resigned as Kangaroos coach. He went out with a bang as the Roos won against the Bulldogs 90-115. And that's sport for this week, and back to you, Leo.
Thanks, Sebastian, for that. We'll have more on our breaking news next.
Women in Base, an HMV News special presentation. Coming soon to HMV. Across the Hawthorn district and its surrounding areas, you're watching HMV, your local station.
Welcome back to the latest on our breaking news now. And with Scott Morrison's reshuffled cabinet and ministry, we are confirming that frontbenchers continuing their roles include Foreign Minister Maurice Payne, Health Minister Greg Hunt, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, Education Minister Dan Tehan, and Finance Minister Matthias Cormann. There are still some exits. We're just seeing them here. This is tough. I've got several here. Ken Wyatt has become the first Aboriginal person to hold the Indigenous Affairs portfolio. Attorney General Christian Porter will become leader of the House, taking responsibility for the parliamentary tactics and the government's day-to-day business. in the chamber. So that's all good and well. So once again, just repeating our breaking news. That is Scott Morrison's Ministry and Cabinet just in here at HMV Launceston's Launceston Studios. And finally tonight, let's recap our top stories here on HMV Local News. And Scott Morrison has won the election in a landslide victory. Bill Shorten has quit, but it's still unclear who will replace him. And in local politics, Josh Frydenberg has kept his seat of Kooyong, however the margin has been significantly less than last time. And that's HMV Local News for this evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. On behalf of the team, though, thank you very much for watching us here at our Launceston Studios, the Best Western Plus Hotel. We'd like to thank them again. On behalf of myself, Sebastian, and the entire team, thank you very much for watching. Good night. Good night.